Yo guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing a little discussion video about sort of like the future of Shonen Jump and what I believe to be like, I guess sort of the new big three. Not really though, and I'll get to that in a minute. I basically just said new big three for like the title of the video just because probably get more attention. It's like, it's the big three, but not really. I'll explain. Anyways, I've been wanting to do this video for a while now. Ever since I covered Dawn to Dawn at the beginning-ish, I think, of November. So it was a while ago. It was supposed to come out, the video was supposed to come out like a couple of weeks ago. I ended up getting sick. Thanksgiving, and then I got sick. So it's now that it's coming out. And when I first advertised the video by doing one of those like community posts, you might notice a change in the thumbnail. Originally, I had Kaiju number 8 on the thumbnail, and you'll see now that that is no longer the case, and it has been replaced by Jujutsu Kaisen. The reason for that is I think Kaiju number 8 doesn't really accurately reflect the argument and like the discussion I'm trying to make in this video. Though I will be talking about Kaiju number 8 briefly, it just wasn't as good of a pick for what I'm talking about as JJK. It just fits better in my opinion. So yeah, if you notice that change, that is why, and again I'll explain why here in just a minute. So yeah, strap in, let's talk about some new Shonen Jump titles, and yeah, let's get into it. So firstly, I do want to say that by me saying the new big three, I don't actually mean the new big three. Nothing will ever replace the big three. The big three being, of course, Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. The three best-selling manga of the early 2000s, late 90s into the early 2000s. Nothing will ever replace them. The big three has solidified themselves in culture, like pop culture, in Shonen Jump magazine specifically, as literally the big three. Like, there's no getting around that. So by me saying the new big three, I'm not talking about replacing them. Like, nothing could ever replace them. A lot of people think that, oh, Bleach shouldn't be part of the big three. It should be Full Metal or Hunter x Hunter. That's not what I'm saying at all. That's not the point of the video. So don't dog on me for saying that we should replace those series, because that's not what I'm saying at all. That's not really the point, I guess. There's no like new big three. I just felt the need to get that out of the way first, just so that there's no misconception or people taking what I'm saying out of context or the wrong way. So yeah, I just want to get that out of the way first. I guess where I want to start is, in recent years, we have seen such a major change in what Shonen Jump magazine is and what it means to be a shonen series. Even just a few years ago, series like Black Clover and My Hero Academia are still very shonen. We had series, I'm going to go back to the original big three, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, all had relatively very similar themes of friendship, not giving up. Of course, Naruto's talk no jutsu, everybody knows that stuff. Series like My Hero and Black Clover, very similar with their themes of like friendship and bonds and pushing past your limits, stuff like that. All very shonen, and that's what it meant to be a shonen series, in my eyes at least, for a very long time. It's very cliche, and yeah, that's what it meant to be shonen. But recently, there's been such a massive shift where I feel like shonen has gotten a lot darker and more mature, and the themes are still at their core are the same or similar. How they go about expressing those themes is a lot different than traditionally what we are used to. Series like Chainsaw Man, which became massively popular, it still has those same themes of never giving up on your own dream, and how your dream is unique to you, and trying to make that goal, your dream, a reality. Like, that is still the same, but it goes and explains it and works the plot in a way that's just so abstract and just way out there compared, again, to what we're used to and what's traditionally shonen. Not only that, but also just the subject matter of the series. We've also seen, again, JJK does this a lot. It's very dark and violent. It's series in Shonen Jump are starting to, there's a bit of a shift where an argument could be made that these series are basically seinen series. Chainsaw Man and Shonen Jump magazine, like, if you've read it, I'm not going to go too much into it now, but the stuff that they talk about in Chainsaw Man probably shouldn't be aimed towards a 12-year-old, which is what, Shonen Jump magazine is aimed at, is young teenagers, and, like, kids. Probably not the best thing to show a kid in Chainsaw Man. That's why a lot of people say it's basically a seinen series. It was just published in Shonen Jump magazine. An argument could be made for JJK as well. It's pretty violent compared to series, again, like Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, My Hero, Black Clover, stuff like that. It is vastly different. Just, again, with its subject matter and what it shows, I guess. What I'm trying to say is that these new series that are coming out and that have blown up and become massively popular are really testing the limits of what it means to be a Shonen Jump series and really pushing the boundaries. And all three of these series that I have chosen to be my new big three, I feel like they've gotten massively popular, and I think a reason for that is because the audience that it's aimed towards and people who read Shonen Jump magazine, it's just a shock, It's nothing that we've ever really seen before. There's just been a total shift in tone and what is being pushed out there. It's just new, and this shock has caused, again, JJK to be one of the best-selling series at the moment. Chainsaw Man's breaking records. The anime is popping off, and people are loving it. They're eating this stuff up. It's something that I don't think we've seen in a while, There's just been a total shift in the content of popular series in the magazine. And these series that I picked here, I think, are really like staples in this new era of Shonen Jump, and that is sort of why I made them the big three. Will they ever sell as good as the original? No, I don't really think so. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Who knows? Only time will tell. But I think where a lot of people go wrong is when talking about a new big three, they just pick out, oh, everybody's talking about this. And it's like, okay, it's a new series, of course they're talking about it. Or they just go out and pick their favorites. And it's like, well, that means nothing. That's just pure bias and opinionated, right? It means nothing. Like, how can you say that that's the big three when you're just picking your three favorites, But I think that, sure, this is opinionated as well, but I think a great argument can be made. It's not just about people talking about it or it being my favorites. I do like all these series quite a bit. JJK, maybe not so much, but I appreciate what it's doing for the industry at the moment, and what it's doing for this shift in the magazine. But it's really a staple, and it's marking and just creating, it's a harbinger of this new era. And I really do like the direction that Shonen is going. It's becoming more grittier and definitely more mature, and these 3 series are very important. Now, like I said, I did want to talk about Kaiju number 8 briefly. It's doing a lot right now. It's a great series, very popular. It's getting an anime adaptation. I don't know when, but I believe it was teased or announced. Anyway, it's doing well. Kaiju number 8, I originally picked it because I feel like it's doing a lot. It's very shonen, but it's also changing in the formula a little bit, where we have a shonen protagonist who's in his 30s. This isn't just some preteen, some little kid, some high schooler. This is a full-grown adult, and he's been an adult for nearly 20 years, right? So this is very against the grain of, again, what we're used to, and that's sort of why I chose it at first, was because they're doing something new, something unique that we haven't really seen before. But at the same time, I think Kaiju number 8 holds on too much of like OG shonen vibes. It definitely feels a lot like what we've seen before in the last decade with Black Clover and My Hero Academia. And I don't feel like it was too much of a shift to really fit the point I was trying to make, which is why I ended up going with JJK, because it just made more sense. But yeah, Kaiju number 8 is doing a lot, and it's taking its own spin on things, but it's just not enough to make itself my pick. I guess I'll sort of end this by talking, firstly, there's 2 series that I do want to talk about. Firstly, Dan to Dan. Now, you guys saw my review, or at least I hope you did. If you didn't, you definitely should, because it was a banger video, honestly. But what can I say about it? It's just crazy, and I think that's another part of what's really marking this new era, is just like bizarre subject matter and what just really weird stuff that's happening. That's why Chainsaw Man, right? I mean, of course, the author of Dan to Dan was literally the apprentice to Fujimoto, but just throwing in something just wild that you're not expecting at all, and it's just really engaging, and it can be really funny at times, but it just hits you from left field, you know what I'm saying? And I think stuff like that also is making a big impact on what it means to be a shonen nowadays as well. Introducing something just super bizarre out of nowhere. I think that's also really great. It's nothing that we haven't necessarily seen before. Of course, we have JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, a great shonen series that's been running since the 80s, and that does something very similar, but I think the way that it's presented in new series is quite different and transformative compared to what we've seen before. And lastly, I did want to talk briefly about Sakamoto Days. This is another series where we can definitely see a shift. It's definitely a lot more action-oriented, and we're leaning a lot away from like the whole power of friendship stuff into more just like action and getting into it, which is another thing. I'm not saying that these series don't have themes to them. I mean, they do. They're shonen series at their core, but it's not so apparent as it once was, and it's not so, use the power of friendship like we have seen before. It's more subtle. And again, Sakamoto Days, main character, as Shonen Jump series, is an old dude. So like, same kind of thing with Kaiju number 8. Definitely very against the grain. So yeah, I do want to reiterate that and close the video by saying this, that I do really enjoy the direction that we are seeing series like this go. I vibe more with these kind of series, honestly, and I just kind of want to hear your guys' thoughts about, you know, the tone of newer Shonen Jump titles, but also the fact that series that hit the same notes as, say, One Piece, Naruto, Bleach might be becoming a thing of the past that we don't see anymore as we start to get into more mature series. And is it possible that with the boundaries of Shonen Jump being pushed by these new series, in, let's say, 5-10 years, will Shonen Jump really be more seinen titles that we start to see that are just marketed as shonen? Because, I mean, then again, I also think that what the type of media that kids are consuming these days, kids are a lot more mature than what they once were and are exposed to a lot more early on, so that could also be a reason why. So will series we see in Shonen Jump that are popping up in the future be more seinen and really blur the line of what it means to be a seinen or a shonen series? We're starting to see it now, but will it be more common? Anyways, guys, that is going to be about it for today's video. It's just something that I've really wanted to talk about on the channel for a long time, and I'm really glad that I did. Again, it's a discussion sort of video, so I do want to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments, or hit me up on Discord. I'd be down to talk about this kind of stuff, because I really think that it's fascinating. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, or if you want more of these discussion style videos, let me know also. Yeah, I'd greatly appreciate all of that, all the support, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.